All right, welcome back to Those Two Geeks. My name's Alex. You're going to hear Joe in a bit. We've got a pre-recorded interview with Jason Muhr, the artist from By the Horns, and one of my favorites, Voracious, as well as Doctor Strange and a multitude of other fantastic things that he has been working on. But rather than talk about comics, because as you know, Joe and I are toy nerds, we're going to be talking about toys with Jason Muhr. So sit back and enjoy the chat.
We're just toy nerds, so let's just do this.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
Absolutely. So before we go, I wanted to thank you for the prints because I was going to give them to my wife for Christmas, but when they arrived, I just gave them to her yesterday actually, and she was blown away with Madame Leota.
Oh, awesome! That's great.
So, yeah.
Does she like the parks?
Yes, she does. We have a new kitten called Sven because of the moose. The reindeer, sorry, from Frozen.
That's awesome. Have you guys been on the new Frozen ride in Epcot?
We did, yeah. So we actually were going to go April 2020, but that obviously didn't happen. So we've been gradually pushing that off every couple of months. So at some point we'll go back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll meet me this time.
Yeah. We 2019 we were actually in New England, and I was messaging Joe, and it didn't quite work out because we weren't sure where we were going. We had no plans. So
right.
At some point we'll head back down south of the border. But
yeah, I guess that could be another podcast we do is discuss my love of theme parks.
Oh, cool.
Oh, absolutely. I feel that there's a lot of things we could happily talk about many times. Before we go into toys, because that's what we all want to talk about. By the Horns, man, you are fantastic on that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
More than welcome. So I know that's not what we're here to talk about, and we'll totally.
That's right. We're here to talk about toys. Let's get the figures out, guys.
I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
No, and we appreciate that, but so you're like I've actually recently and I say recently in quotation marks, being more of the last, since the pandemic, really, I've gotten more into toys.
Yeah, you have.
Joe can tell you that from the March of 2020, I had maybe half a dozen Marvel Legends.
Okay.
Mostly like the Uncanny X-Force is what I was aiming for, but even then it was just bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
I now have half a dozen Wolverine figures alone.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I found, especially working at home, it's so much easier.
Oh my God.
Right? Like
hop on eBay.
Yeah, eBay, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like Prime, I can get it tomorrow. So during the pandemic, I think I accumulated like 150 figures that year. Easily.
Man. Yeah, I think I did the same thing. I think being cooped up, I started buying old comics, and I have Marvel Legends too. I was strictly MCU Marvel Legends. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, well,
and then they dried up.
I'm gonna get some Jim Lee X-Men. I'm gonna expand my my Spider-Man collection.
Yep, good choice.
Yeah.
That is theoretically what I was aiming to do. With like the Jim Lee era, 90s era X-Men. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, but I really like Scarlet Spider. Like the Kane one. I was like, and then I kind of need some hand ninjas because why not? So now
you went crazy with the hand ninjas.
I've only got 4.
Oh, I thought you had like 10.
No, I don't have 10. I've only got 4.
Okay.
And I also got them long after they were out, so I didn't jump on them immediately, and then I'm not the biggest fan of people scalping figures.
Oh God, yeah.
And so with the hand, I think I got a couple on pre-order early, but they, funnily enough, still haven't actually gone through to my LCS because Diamond's being stupid. So the ones I have picked up have all been like on Amazon they were, bear in mind in Canada, typical Legends between $30 to $35. So I got them for about $20. So I was almost buy one, get one. So I picked a couple up here and there, but
yeah, I had ordered the set of the Age of Apocalypse, the second series, through Target, and it's funny, they've been sending me like one figure at a time, like a week and a half apart. I don't know what, because there's obviously supply chain issues. I mean, that's going on everywhere.
So have you? So I know you said you had a big on Twitter. You had a fairly large to open pile. Have you been into the AOA series yet? Like, have you opened them up that you got?
No, I haven't opened them. I got them in the mail. I got so many toys recently that they've just been stacking up. So far, I've only gotten my Rogue and my Iceman and my Cyclops, and I think I'm waiting for the other ones.
Oh, okay. What's your Magneto? Because I got a Magneto and the horseshoe on his head popped out a little bit, like in the package before I even opened him. So.
Oh man.
I mean, it's not a deal breaker. I can probably pop it out, reheat it, and put it back in. But I don't feel the need. You shouldn't have to do that.
What do you mean the horseshoe on his head?
I mean, it's like the red.
Oh, on the helmet.
Goes in the helmet, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Just technical terms, right? The horseshoe on a figure.
I get it. Yeah. Now that I'm visualizing it. Yeah, I feel like there's been some sloppy paint jobs recently I've gotten.
Yep.
Or like you're saying, things come like a little loose, but there's problems everywhere. So.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I got the Spider-Man 2099 arrived, and one of the hands has like some of the red paint is chipped off.
Yeah.
It's one of the fists, so I'm not entirely brokenhearted by it because I'd rather give him the clawed hands anyway.
Yeah.
But it's still irritating when you see that come through. But at the end of the day, I also have to realize that these are theoretically toys for children. It just so happens that this child is 36 years old and quite happy to play with them still.
Totally. Yeah, that's always an issue. Like, so the Marvel Legends, I feel like to make them seem like they're giving you a better value, they give you like 20 hands and 3 heads. But obviously, you're only going to display one set of hands, one set of heads. So I just have a Ziploc just full of heads and hands that I can't bring myself to just actually throw out because I'm like, well, I bought this, but obviously I'm not going to put every head on every figure, every hand on every figure.
I have I don't know which one it came with, but the Tri-Sentinel arm. Oh, it came with Professor X.
Okay.
That I've taken the hand from that and popped it on a J. Jonah Jameson body because it worked. And I just got the hover chair Xavier with the Shadow King head. And because I can't afford a second Kingpin and I want Kingpin on the display, the J. Jonah Jameson body now hosts the Kingpin head, and it looks hilariously out of proportion. And I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite thing that I've got on display. I'm not gonna lie.
So the neck's got to be way fatter than the.
Do you know what? The head actually fits on really well. Like it fits on. It looks like the head is oozing over the shirt collar and everything. So, but it's still articulate in that you can twist it around and hold him by the head, no problem.
Yeah.
But
yeah, do you guys ever customize anything?
Yes, but not very well. I did customize the Union Jack Bucky cap into a Union Jack years ago, and because I'm also a big Reavers fan, I have I don't know, 3 or 4 customized Reavers on the shelf as well. And
Reavers
some are
like 80s Silvestri Reavers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're not accurate to anything. They're just more. Some of them are just plain kit bashes to what I've got. But I have one of the skull. I have 2 skull busters for some reason, and one of the bodies I took the jacket off and put a nuke head on, the one with the cyborg part of his face coming through.
Yeah.
And just painted over the flag on his face and left him up there. So they're really simple customs at best.
Yeah.
But it works for that. Like I find the detail and on the 6-inch figures is so hard to do well with my sausage finger painting skills.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you ever customize anything?
No, for the first time recently, I got the the U.S. agent from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, and I feel like he was missing his white stripes. He was just red and blue striped on the front.
Yes, yeah.
So I got some paint and I painted in the stripes, but that's about the most customization I'll do is touch up the paint sometimes. Because that's a problem, especially with the MCU figures, is I feel like they will base the toy designs on concept art. And so it will be different than the movie. Like, for instance, when they did the Thanos's minions from Infinity War, the big guy, I want to say Black Dwarf or the big dude.
Yeah, I know who you mean, and I can't think of the name either.
Yeah, he had a completely different body in the movie. Like, he was wearing clothes, but the figure was just kind of like a barbarian dude in like a loincloth. So I've noticed that's the thing with the MCU figures is sometimes you can tell that they probably got, some kind of preliminary concept art. And they're basing the design off of that, so it doesn't quite match the thing. And every once in a while, they'll go back and they'll correct the figure. Like, they'll do a box set and make you buy it again. Because they messed up.
Speaking of box set, Joe and I were talking about the Hasbro PulseCon that happened whenever it happened. And the reveal of Falcon Cap and I think it's Worthy Cap in the 2-pack.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if you're an MCU collector, you've probably already got both of those.
Yes. Yeah.
If you only had the one, would that be something you'd be interested in rebuying because of just getting one? Or because I feel like they're essentially making you buy Falcon Cap because he's still available at retail in places that I've seen. It's just you're getting a 2-pack with a figure that's already freely available for a different one.
Yeah, I think that Worthy Cap is hard to come by because it was a Walmart exclusive. I typically don't buy. Back in the day, I used to buy the 2-packs to get the one figure I really wanted. But now most of the time, people just sell the figures on eBay individually. Like, there was a 2-pack recently with Happy Hogan and like an Iron Man armor variant, and I don't need any more Iron Man armor variants. So I've been trying to bid on the Happy, but I refuse to pay like $35 for a Happy Hogan figure. I'm just kind of waiting it out until the price goes down.
No, that's totally fair. I've got a. I feel like Joe dropped off at some point.
Yeah.
I actually have the Rogue and Pyro 2-pack. And I honestly got it just for Pyro. And what I ended up doing was the Jim Lee the Jim Lee retro Rogue.
The yellow and green one.
Yeah, so I ended up getting adding head switching the Pyro 2-pack Rogue to the retro Rogue, and for me it works so much better because I can actually move her head. Like you've got a bit more that you can get out of it that you can move the head with.
Now, did you get the Rogue when it was originally out, or did you get the reissue version on the retro card?
I got the reissue on the card because I wasn't really collecting at the time when that one came out. Like I only had a couple of them here and there. Sorry, my cat is trying to dig at my seat. Hang on, I'm just trying to figure out why he's not here, but he seems to be.
Sure.
Hang on. So I didn't get the one at the time because like I really wasn't collecting.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, no worries. We were talking about the retro Rogue and Pyro. And I was saying how I wasn't collecting at the time when the Juggernaut Rogue came out. But I lucked out getting the Rogue up in Canada in Toys R Us. Both the Rogue and Gambit were really freely available. And I think they're still actually available for less than retail in Toys R Us right now.
Yeah, that was great. I love when you issue stuff like that. because same thing. I only started collecting the Jim Lee X-Men during quarantine. Because first, what I did is I started buying old Jim Lee X-Men, especially when comics shut down for those 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Just buying random old things that I've always been wanting to fill out the collection,
Yeah.
And that got me on to the Jim Lee X-Men Marvel Legends, and those things have just gone up in price on the secondary market. Like I just watched
all of them. Yeah.
And I remember I went to right when the pandemic hit, like maybe right before, in the first couple of weeks before we knew everything was going to shut down, I had gone to a toy show and I had seen a couple of those figures, like a Psylocke or something, and they wanted like $30 for it, 35. And I was like, I don't know. I think I'll wait it out. And then when quarantine hit, all of a sudden those things skyrocketed to like $90, $100,
yeah,
50.
Yeah. So I mean, I got into a huge Legends kick. Like I was collecting Legends. Spider-Man was probably my bread and butter, but I also collected, X-Men. And of course, who isn't going to go for the Jim Lee X-Men?
Sure.
So I went for those, but I still, to this day, I've bid on it multiple times. I just have never pulled the full trigger on the Dark Phoenix Cyclops 2-pack. Like,
oh yeah,
just can't bring myself to spend $200-300 on it. But it's ironic because I've got like a room full of Mezcos. You know what I mean? So if I just didn't decide to get a couple of those.
Do you want me to make you sick?
Don't say you found it. Don't you say you found it.
Oh, it's better than that. So as I said, I'm in Canada, and there's a Toys R Us really close to where I am. And I would often go up there just to look around, kill time. Mm-hmm. When I didn't follow what wave was coming out, so I'd often go and just see if there's a Sabretooth out, etc. Yeah. Do you know how many times recently? And it was there for almost a month. There were 4 2-packs of the Cyclops, Jean Grey, or Dark Phoenix 2-pack.
Why didn't you pick that up for me?
Because I wasn't collecting at the time, and it never occurred to me. We hadn't really talked about it. And then also there was the Kraven and Black Suit Spider-Man 2-pack on clearance for $30 for quite a while.
Oh my God! I say good day, sir.
Yeah. Had that been like a month later or like a couple of months later, I probably would have picked up multiple copies of it. But I just had no idea how hard it was to find because.
Yeah. Both of those extremely hard. So Alex, I got bad news. Hasbro Pulse just sent me an email. They canceled one of our Excalibur 3-packs. I don't know why.
Oh, weird.
It was like as soon as you gave me that strange news, it just said, more Excalibur 3-pack.
What a shame.
Oh no, I have those on order.
Yeah, I have that on order. I have all the G.I. Joe stuff on order. Like, I am such a G.I. Joe guy that I was praying HasLab didn't come out with a 6-inch HasLab. I was screwed if they did. So they released the Sky Striker as a 3 3/4, and I'm like, okay, I can skip this one. But then 3 days later, Ghostbusters released a Proton pack to go with my wand. So I'm like, damn it. So I have Galactus on order, the Razor Crest on order for Mandalorian, the Ghostbusters Proton pack, and I back and forth on the Rancor. I'm like, I don't know. They gotta kill it with like a Lucre layer for that as an add-on for me to decide to grab it. Do you do any of the HasLabs, Jason?
Not the big ones. Not like the Sentinels.
The Sentinel didn't grab you? I actually grabbed that.
I think it's cool. I definitely think they're cool. I have a space issue.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of toys. Like I probably have like 200 Marvel Legends.
Wow.
Like 200 Simpson figures.
Oh, there you go.
Like all the Arkham Asylum Batman figures, all the animated series figures. So I have a huge. I had all these toys for years, and then when we moved into our new house, I always had this dream that I was going to take the doors off the closet and use the entire closet as a toy shelf.
Like a walk-in closet?
Yes.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
It's probably like 2 feet deep and like, I don't know, 7-8 feet wide.
Like a giant double
telescoping doors. And in my mind, when I first moved into the house, I was like, oh, I'm going to have room for years to just fill it with toys. And within like a year, I had filled it up.
Filled it up completely.
Yeah.
Well, the Batmobile alone from the animated series is going to fill that thing up.
Sure. I wanted to buy that Batcave they put out because the Alfred thing was exclusive to it. But then I looked at the measurements, and the Batcave was huge.
Humongous. It was like 40 inches.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah, I was like, I got nowhere to put this thing, and I wanted it because I wanted the Alfred. And then here's the thing: no one sells the Alfred on eBay.
Yeah.
No one sells the Alfred. They all want to sell it with the Batcave. Screw you. So I ended up getting the Batwing, but that's another space issue. It's got to go on a wall somewhere. I got to hang it. It's just massive. But I love the Batman animated series line so much.
Yeah. Did they cancel? You remember they were doing that one series?
Yeah, it's canceled. It's totally canceled. Like the last ones, I don't know if you got them. I got Red Hood, Azrael, like Dark Knight Batman with the Kryptonite, and the Joker. Like those are the reissue of the Joker. Yeah, they came out. I have them.
I had them on pre-order at my comic shop, and they just never appeared. I just assumed that.
Yeah, so they had a very limited run of them. You ever heard of Big Bad Toy Store, Jason?
Yep.
All right, so they might still have some of them because they got a restock, and that's where I got all mine. But yeah, and then I had to track down the Superman and Lois Lane 2-pack. That was a bitch to get. Yeah. And then the Mask of the Phantasm was really hard to get. I got that, and the Batman Beyond, I got that on order when it first came out, so I paid retail for it, luckily, because that's horribly hard to get. And then I would say the toughest one for me was definitely the Scarface and Ventriloquist. Do you have that one?
Yes, I do have that one.
Yeah, so that one's most coveted, and right now there's only one I really don't have, which is the Scarecrow, the first iteration of Scarecrow.
Okay.
The paper bag head. I can't get that. He's like $200-300 now. I'm like, nah. I have the other Scarecrow from the later animated series, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what he's gonna be.
Yeah, the second version. Yeah, it's a bummer that that series got canceled. There's probably like I mean, not many, but there's probably like 5 or 6 characters they never got around to doing.
Oh, I would have loved for them to do Count Vertigo. I would have loved, Vertigo. There is a few more that they definitely could. Lockup would have been nice to have.
Yeah, they never did a second version of the Penguin, the
like the version. Iceberg owner, Iceberg Club owner. Yeah, I would have loved that because I liked DeVito in the movie. I love that movie, one of my all-time favorites. But I don't like that design for the animated series. I always hated that design.
Yes, I agree.
Very terrible. It was just not aesthetically pleasing. But speaking of Batman Returns, I was at Comic-Con this past weekend, and I picked up the NECA, quarter scale Catwoman from Batman Returns to go with my Keaton. So I was like, oh, I finally got that.
Oh, that's cool. Is that like a leather costume?
Yeah. Okay. It's the one from Batman Returns. So she's got like the vinyl.
That's cool.
And they nailed Michelle Pfeiffer's likeness. Like there's 2 heads, they killed it. And the Keaton one, Keaton is the best likeness I've seen besides a Hot Toy. It comes from NECA. NECA really did a great job.
Yeah.
But I can't collect quarter scale because they're space killers. They murder everything. So,
yeah.
But I hear you with the unopened piles and stuff like that. We all collect more than just Marvel Legends. If you just collected Marvel Legends, I think everyone could be able to fit their space pretty good because there's a way to display them. But when you collect multiple lines, like I have the Mezco Conan on the desk right now, haven't opened him. It's tough to open him because I love Conan so much, especially that iteration. The Frazetta Conan, but he's like $600 right now, and I paid $100. So it's like it's tough.
Yeah, it's like if you open it, you're taking away. Like, are you opening it for the fun, or do you want to keep it for the investment? And I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. But then Loose Collector did a Red Sonja figure that looks amazing, and I'm like, well, I got to get the Red Sonja, so I ordered her, and I'm like, I got to keep the Conan because I definitely want to have both. It's a disease. It's a disease. I went on my Big Bad Toy Store pre-order list. There was 201 items.
I am so glad that Big Bad Toy Store charges shipping to Canada. So glad. So I tend to only get figures either in person, so usually at Toys R Us or from my LCS, or from Amazon because the shipping's free. Like, unless I can find somewhere where the shipping is worth paying. Like, I think I got Mr. Sinister off eBay, and the shipping and the cost of the figure was less than what I would have paid on Amazon. So I don't know how I got it for the price I got it for, but he's normally a $70 figure in Canada, and I got him for about 45, I think. And I don't know what the seller was smoking, but I will take advantage of that all day long.
I'm jealous that you have Toys R Us still.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
I am too, but they're coming back, Jason.
Yeah.
Are they coming back as just a pop-up, or are they going to legitimately come back?
No, legit come back. They said
I'm amazed
they're actually
that
coming back.
Yeah, like I feel like, I mean, obviously the ownership was different, but like it's so the ironic thing is, and I've told Joe this, I never went to a Toys R Us as a kid, so I don't have that memory of walking into this is a Toys R Us store, although they still played that as I walked through the other day. The first one I think I went to was in Times Square.
Oh yeah, the one wheel.
Big one by F.A. Schwartz.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it has the
it has the
Ferris wheel. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun doing a Ferris wheel in a building.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah, that was.
You like
me? It was. I had a pretty big Toys R Us by me. Like most Toys R Us will have maybe 1 or 2 action figure aisles, and it just had like a Marvel aisle, a DC aisle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like 10 action figure aisles. It was amazing. I used to go there probably every Wednesday. I'd get comics and I'd stop at Toys R Us and just check out what was new.
Yeah, my dad used to do that for me because I live in New England. So like in Dorchester, there was a big Toys R Us. So we Dorchester, Massachusetts, we would go there, like same thing, comic books. We'd hit up, I think it would be New England Comics, and then we would go to Toys R Us like clockwork. Now, I think the biggest, funniest thing was I've been collecting figures since I was 5. My dad has always collected figures for me when I was a kid, comics and figures. Like I always joke with Alex, I didn't have baby toys. I had a comic book in my crib. I'll never forget. I had Amazing Spider-Man 239 or 238, first appearance of Hobgoblin in my crib. So like I went out and re-got that again during the pandemic. I paid like $250 for it for an 8.5, but now it's worth like $1,000. So that wasn't bad. But yeah, no, I love. There's nothing like Toys R Us. We used to have like KB Toys and I think it was like Toy Whiz or something like that, but it wasn't like Toys R Us. Toys R Us was the jam. You know what I mean?
Did you ever go to a Kids World? Did you have those by you?
No, we had Child World. Maybe it's a variation.
Yeah, Child World.
Yeah, I had Child World. That's where I got all my Masters of the Universe stuff when I was a kid. And they used to have really cool displays on the end caps. Like I remember vividly Castle Grayskull being folded open, and Eternia. If you ever remember Eternia, that was like the most coveted thing you could have. I had that thing 3 times because it broke 3 times. It was a very fragile toy. Very fragile.
Was it fragile, or were you just a hard player?
No, Alex, I'm ginger with my toys. Like how I am now as a collector was what I was as a kid. Like I'd take them out. Sometimes I wouldn't even unbox. My dad used to go, "What the fuck am I buying this for if you're not going to unbox it?" So I was ahead of my time. But no, I would unbox it, and my friends were like ham fans, though. They would come over and bash everything together. I remember with my Playmates Turtles, they used to get pissed because my buddies would like smash the shells together or the front in the shell. And I'd be like, dude, you're scraping the paint job. Like, what kid talks about paint job and toys? Like, I don't know. I should have been a YouTube reviewer back then. I would have been perfect. But Jason, so you love the X-Men Jim Lee, as we all do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the animated series line? Because to me, that's my dream line, finally.
Oh, that they're doing those new ones?
Yeah.
Really cool. I do think they're cool. I don't know if, again, space-wise.
Yeah, that's what I think everyone's having the trouble with is, we all have the nostalgia for that cartoon, but it's like most of them are pretty much repaints of like the Jim Lee ones you have in your hand.
Sure, they're just cel-shaded.
Yeah, they're cel-shaded, but they got Wolverine's mask right for the cartoon, at least on this new sculpt. That's cool. I like the big wings on the ears.
Yeah.
And I need a morph. I don't care. Just give me a morph with a jacket and those like sunken eyes as one of the heads. Like, that's all we want, man. Just give it to us.
Yeah, I have every intention of getting that Wolverine purely because I'm a Wolverine nerd. But yes, you did. Yeah, exactly. So other than that, though, I don't think I'll be dabbling in that line.
Dude, did you want Richter, that 3-pack? I got 2. I didn't remember if you wanted it or not. Yeah, I know you wanted the Excalibur. We both want that. That's like our most coveted right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you maybe Richter, I was intending to use as the base for a custom, so it's not like I have any great attachment to the pack itself. But
okay, that's right. So, Jason, what is your favorite toy line? What would you say? That's a super hard question, but what's your favorite?
What's my favorite toy line?
Yeah, like currently that you're collecting. It doesn't have to be nostalgia of all time, but like what is your favorite right now? Like what really gets you?
I'm probably mostly Legends, Marvel Legends. Yeah. I've kind of, I mean, now that the Batman line's done, I've had to taper off. Yeah, mainly Legends. Mainly MCU Legends.
I think they do the best paint jobs on the MCU Legends. It's like they put all their money into those figures.
Yeah, and now they're doing this insidious thing where, like, I had, the Marvel Legends from, like, the first Avengers movie or even, like, Winter Soldier, but now they're going back and reissuing those with, like, a little bit better likeness and a little bit better paint job.
Yeah.
Which is great, but it is kind of like, oh man, I'm gonna buy the same figure again, I guess. But
yeah, it's a new head sculpt, basically.
Yeah.
And that's something. It's funny. I wonder if a toy company would ever be like open to just being like, hey, you want to update your figure? We're gonna release new heads, like that. You're like a pack of new heads that you can get with new decos. Like, I wonder if they would do that, but probably not. Because probably like, no, let's make these suckers buy the same old mold.
Yeah, it's not cost effective.
That really kicked me off with the new 2-pack with Bucky Cap and with Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers. Like, I was pissed about that. And you still don't get the wings. I'm like, nah, you're not getting me on this one.
Yeah, those wings. So I had bought the entire line of the Disney Plus figures.
Yep.
The only one I didn't buy was the Loki because I was like, I don't think I need a Loki in a brown suit.
Right.
But I was like, but I looked in the back and they all come with the wings. So all right, I have my wings. But the crafty thing they did is the piece that holds the wings together comes with the Loki.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it did. Yep.
Because the regular Sam Wilson comes with a backpack, but the backpack the wings actually clip into is included with the Loki figure.
Yeah. Are you serious? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought I'd get away with not buying. I was like, oh, perfect. I don't want the Loki figure, and it doesn't have a piece I need. I thought it just came with like the little red bird, but it comes with the backpack that actually attaches it to. Wow. So I ended up just buying that piece off of eBay. I ended up spending probably like $20 on it, so I should have just bought the figure. And
right, no kidding. I like that Loki, to be honest. I love the show. It's probably WandaVision has a really good place in my heart. I really dug that show. I thought they did it spectacular. But I also love Loki. Loki was good. Falcon and Winter Soldier was decent. Not my favorite. And I loved What If. I thought What If was great.
Yeah. I thought they were all good. Yeah, I think What If was like my favorite of the bunch.
Like, I want the Ultron from What If as a legend badly.
Yeah, I was debating. I'm like, do I start going down the path of now getting animated MCU legends?
So they kind of have the deco enough that fits. So
my the one I needed to have out of that wave, and I have it on pre-order with Amazon, although I could just cancel it and get it in retail. I just haven't done that yet. Is Captain Carter, because being a Brit, I have a fondness for any hero with a Union Jack. So I obviously have Union Jack and found Spidey UK, which has then led me down what if I get this Spider-Man for a Spider-Verse shelf? So I can feel myself falling down that rabbit hole already. But that's why I was so desperate to get Captain Britain, and I want Captain Carter. And I was looking at the figure, and it looks, because it's animated, it looks like it will fit in well enough with a comic display and the MCU display too. It's like a perfect bridge between the two for that one, at least. I don't know how the rest of them would work, but
yeah, that's the problem with toys. Like, anytime there's a new line introduced, you gotta like ask yourself that question, like, am I going down this road? Because obviously I'm not going to just buy one.
Yeah, I wish I was good enough to ask myself the question instead of just clicking pre-order.
Yeah,
I'm terrible.
I thought I'll just get one Star Wars black figure. I only want the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I got the Mandalorian, I should get the child as well.
Oh, that happened to me.
now I have the heavy infantry Mandalorian, IG-88.
Yeah.
I have a Han Solo in the display too, because more or less that time.
Why not?
And now I've slowly building an army of stormtroopers and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And I know that there's no stopping it. I've at least been able to, I'm trying to limit myself to the time period between Return of the Jedi and the Mandalorian, so that 5-year period. So until I watch the Bad Batch, I'm not going anywhere near those figures.
Watch the Bad Batch, you will get the figures. I have 2 shock troopers, a death trooper, and now I have the whole Bad Batch coming. I'm like, damn it. But they're such cool designs. It's like the Fantastic Four as stormtroopers. You know, they have such like, I don't know, things come in 4, like great teams, Fantastic Four, the Ninja Turtles, other teams, but you know, those are the ones that come to mind. So I hear you, but my biggest poison has to be the NECA Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And every release they possibly have. And I wish I paid retail for most of them, but I'd say 80% I did not pay retail. I paid double retail.
Yeah, I got you a couple retail, didn't I? Because the Canadian store didn't sell out anywhere near as fast as the US one.
Yeah, you got me movie Raphael and Casey Jones.
Yep.
And you got me regular animated Casey Jones Foot Soldier, which I love all those.
Did I get you a third one too, or was that I know I only sent you 2.
April, no, I think you got me just the 2.
Just the 2?
We were gonna go for the April O'Neil, but I ended up finding it.
That was it. Okay.
For like $10 more, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I'm staring at my Turtles in Time arcade right now in the box. It's right next to me, but it's gotta be built. And I'm like, why can't just someone come in and build this thing? I hate vowels. But
did you buy the machine, the arcade machine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes with the stool and the light up marquee and all that. It's 4-player.
Nice.
Yeah. It's my biggest, fondest arcade game of all time, with the exception of the X-Men. The original, I think it would be the Pride of the X-Men arcade.
Yep.
I love that arcade. But I was like, it was a choice between the Turtles or the X-Men arcade, because I damn sure ain't gonna buy both. It was like, after everything with shipping, it was $750. I'm like, yeah, I can't just be doing this. I said, this was a pandemic type of, you know, okay. Yeah, coming out of the pandemic in this year, 2020, I was so frivolous with my money. I was just like, oh, I want this. I want this. I want this. I was buying, graded comic books almost every 2 days, and then the toys on top of it. And I was like, wait a minute, I just spent like 20 grand on collectibles in 2020. I need to chill the hell out. So I scaled back. I sold a lot of my stuff this year. Sold about 15 grand worth of stuff this year, because I had about 60 Mezcos, and I was like, they're almost all in the box. So luckily for me, I was able to resell them. But the ones I really, really love, like some of the MCU ones, and like obviously the Batman ones, because I'm a Batman freak, those are the ones I kept. Like other things like Daredevil, Punisher, and stuff like that. Blade. I had Blade for like a cup of coffee. I bought them. I opened them during Halloween, and I was like, yeah, I don't really feel this figure. I took like 2 pictures. I liked him, but I was just like, he's awesome. But if I don't enjoy it that much, like, why is it sitting there? But the ones I do enjoy and still haven't opened yet, I want to open up Lockjaw and Black Bolt, because that just looks amazing. I have the Thanos, but I have other Thanoses. So I'm like, I love the Legends Thanos, the deluxe one they came out with, the Starlin one. He's almost near perfect. And I'm like, this one's, $160. This one's $30. Like, I'm getting a lot of joy out of the $30 one. I'm like, maybe I should just sell Thanos. I whittled down a lot, but there's a couple I kept. Popeye in the can, because that, I never knew I needed a real world Popeye, but until I got him. He's so cool. And then Space Ghost has always been a massive Alex Top, and so I was like, nope, gotta have Space Ghost. I wish they'd do the rest of the team, but stuff like that. But nostalgia's my ass, because it's Turtles. So I don't just do the NECA Turtles, I do the Super 7 Turtles too. And then I'm diehard Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. So I've been pretty much hard on the Thundercats. I ordered the Thunder Tank. Masters of the Universe, I scaled back to basically He-Man, Skeletor, and iterations of them, and a Hordak, because I love Hordak. Because there's like 280 figures of Masters of the Universe classics, and I'm like, I can't go for this. There's no way.
Have you been looking at the I don't want to say the retro Masters
The
of the
map.
Universe figures,
Oh,
but
I know what you're talking about. The Origins.
yeah, the ones that
I
they
have
look
a
like they're from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love them. They're like the perfect He-Man figure. They're the exact. So it's like what you were playing with as a kid, but with really nice articulation and that nostalgia point. So it's really cool. But that's what I like about the Super 7 stuff too. It's the Playmates Ninja Turtles updated in your hand, like what you thought you were holding as a kid. Now you're like, man, these are just like sculptures that are just badass. And I'm just a Ninja Turtle sucker, so I'm waiting for all the Mirage stuff that's coming out in 2022. I can't wait for that. I ordered all the Loot Crate stuff. And I'm hoping that they do an IDW line of Turtles. I would love an IDW line, like either the Last Ronin or, the current roster with like Jenica or something. I know an Usagi's coming. That's one of my coveted figures. Finally, NECA's doing an Usagi 2-pack. So can't wait for that. They got Stan Sakai's sign off on that.
I feel like I was a big Masters kid. That was like my first love. But I feel like with those figures, they redo the same sculpt like every couple of years, right? Like this is supposed to look like the original figure with just a little bit more articulation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I feel like they've done that line 3 times now.
They have. They've really beat that line to death.
And then like somebody, like another company will get the license and kind of do that same line again.
Yeah, right? Of course they will. So like, have you seen the Masterverse stuff?
Is that for the show or?
Kevin Smith? Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen those. Yeah, I've seen them.
So some of those are decent. Did you like the show? I loved the show.
Yeah, I thought the show was great.
Yeah, so I met Kevin Smith last week, and he gave me this big ass hug because like he gets a lot of shit for that cartoon. So Alex knows I bought a power sword while I was at Comic-Con because I was like, well, I got time to kill, and that's always dangerous. So I bought a power sword, and I always love the He-Man power sword. It's just one of my things. I even have a slime pit version that was customized for me, made 3D printed. I love that too. But so I walked in to get my picture taken with Kevin Smith, and like he's very German, like he's very weird and whatever. But I was like, dude, he goes, oh, dude, that's a rad power sword. And I was like, yeah, I just got it at the booth. And I said, oh, by the way, and my buddy was with me too. I said, by the way, I just want to thank you for fucking improving my childhood. I said, I waited 30 damn years for Skeletor to win. I was like, thank you. He goes, man, thank you so much. He's like, I get so much shit for that show. I'm like, I don't know why. It's a great show. It's called Masters of the Universe. Oh, and you gotta be an idiot to think Adam's dead. So he's like, yeah, right. And then like the photographer's getting pissed and like trying to shovel him in to get everybody in pictures. And he's like, dude, you need to watch part 2. He's like, it's gonna blow your doors off. And I was like, yeah, it's coming in a couple weeks. I said, I love the trailer. He's like, dude, it's the most He-Man there's ever He-Man. I was like, all right, you sold me. I just said, I just want to thank you. And I went to give him a handshake. And he comes over and gives me this big ass hug. And I was like, I just got hugged by Kevin Smith. That's so weird. Meanwhile, Jason Muhr is in the picture. Alex, you saw it, right? He's like way over, almost out of frame. Like nobody is near him. But yeah, I love Masters of the Universe. I've been waiting for somebody to pick up that property and do it like right, not just a great adult version of it. And when they put Powerhouse Animation behind it, that did Castlevania, I'm like, dude, this is jaw-droppingly good. Some of the voice acting I didn't like, I'll give you that, but I loved the show overall. I thought it was fantastic. It wasn't too woke for me. It was fine. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I'm excited about the new season.
I
remember, I think I had waited like a week or 2 to watch it, and I saw those articles popping up like, oh, fans hate this, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like 3 episodes in, I was like, what's going on? Am I missing something? This is great.
Yeah, me too. Orko was so great.
Yeah.
Like, I love Orko's design. I thought that was a cool-ass redesign. And I love the explanation for his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good.
I don't remember if Joe told me to watch it.
I told you to watch it.
Yeah, you told me to watch it and I hadn't really seen anything. And then you told me to watch it. I was like, wait, why do people hate this? So then obviously I watch it. And I mean, my boss doesn't listen to this. I watched it when I was supposed to be working.
I knew it.
And I, it's what, like a
Alex, you're fine.
That's fine. It's like
Your
what,
boss is
five.
joke, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I work flexi time. I'm fine. But no, like I remember watching it. It's like, oh, I'll just put this on in the background, and like an hour and a half later, I'm like, yeah, this isn't on in the background. I think I'm done for the day, and just watch the entire thing. It was so good. So
it was
good.
so good. And like people bitched about Mark Hamill being the voice of Skeletor. I thought he was like fine. Of course, he's gonna sound like the Joker. It's his Joker voice, but like it works really good for Skeletor. I mean, do we not forget Alan Oppenheimer's voice was like, "I'll get you, He-Man." Like, I mean, it's gonna be corny. It's fine. But I thought, to be fair, the show stealer by far and away was Lena Headey's Evil Lynn. I fell in love with her. I thought her character was so fucking great. And then at the end, where she's like, yeah, this has been nice. I'm going to go back with the winning team now. You kids were cool, but we're going to kill you. Love it. Oh, good.
So good.
The toys were disappointing, though. I'll admit that. I wish Powerhouse Animation did the toys, too, because they didn't put a lot of effort in the toys. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, it seemed like they were aimed at probably a younger audience, which is weird because the show is obviously...
I think they were aimed for collectors, but they just didn't put the money behind it. I mean, because the head sculpts were like tiny, and of course I got them because I'm an idiot. I got He-Man and Skeletor and Skelegod, but like I'd stop there, and I will get Barbarian, Prince Adam, or He-Man with Orko 2 back. I have to. I loved Orko. Orko scene, like for me, without obviously we've all seen it, but that was like the scene. Oh, and I'm lying. I got the Mattel Creations Scareglow, the one that has the black light. I got that. That was so rad. But other than that, I didn't get Evil Lynn. I didn't get Teela. I didn't get Man at Arms. I didn't get Spikor. None of those. And I didn't get any of the. I think there's a vehicle. I didn't get Battle Cat yet, which of course I have to, because what kind of He-Man fan am I if I don't get Battle Cat? But yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I would love for somebody to put the care into Thundercats like that, but I don't think you'll see that for quite a while.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that old the Cartoon Network Thundercats show? They did probably.
Yeah. The 2011 one.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I was all right with it. The designs like aren't my favorite, but because I'm always partial to the classics, I love the classic designs. Thundercats is one of those shows that you can still watch and be like, wow, this is a good show. Like Silverhawks is a surprisingly good show, and now they're doing that on Super 7, and I'm like, well, I have a fond memory of Silverhawks as a kid, but I'm not going down the whole hole. So I'm like, all right, I'll get Quicksilver. Well, I like Monstar, so I need the villain. Oh, Monstar has a throne. Oh, he has another. So I got 4 of them coming. I'm like, damn it. 4 out of 8 isn't that bad, though. I consider that a win.
I mean, the thing is, at that point, I'm like, well, 4 out of 8. I may as well get the other 4.
Nah, because the thing with Super 7 and Mezco, and I don't know if you can attest, Jason, if you do like those kind of companies, you order them and basically forget about them because they ain't coming to your door for like a year and a half, each of them. Yeah. So it's something like if you really want it now, forget it. You got to wait a long ass time. Like I'm still waiting for my Mumra Out the Ever Living from Wave 2, but I got Wave 3 and 4. I'm still waiting for Wave 2 that got lost in like the Suez Canal or something. It's been gone for like ever. But they do great jobs. I mean, we are in the golden age of action figures. There's nothing like the 80s and the 90s were probably the pinnacle, but this is like the new version of that. Because the 2000s, there really wasn't much like DC Direct, maybe a couple other smaller companies. Claiborne Moore had more creations, which I had like the Lady Death and Evil Ernie and stuff from there. But Marvel Legends was atrocious back then. It, you know, like all that stuff was really bad, the Toy Biz stuff. And now it's just like everything comes out every day. Like what happened to news from cable news happened with toys. The 24-hour BuzzFeed of cable news became like the everyday occurrence of a new action figure being released. Like there's no more, okay, action figure is going to come out in like 6 months and things like that. It'll be a wave and then we wait again. No, it's like this wave's happening, this wave's happening, this wave's happening. And Marvel Legends is the worst. They don't ever keep their ship times correct. They're always like 3 months early. Because I'm getting clobbered for waves back and forth, and I'm like, what the hell? You said this was coming in April, and now I'm getting whacked with it. But hey, I love Fantastic Four. I can't complain.
Yeah, the Marvel it's crazy too. Being in such a golden age of toys is like, for instance, the Marvel Legends. They're now going back and doing figures for movies that they forgot to do the figure for. So like, put out just a one-off Odin or a one-off Quicksilver, and put it on their website. Like, what a genius move. Instead of like back in the day when they had to think about like the case assortments and like, oh, I don't know if Odin's gonna sell on the shelf, so we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, we'll just do one off. Buy it directly.
They're doing a lot of obscure shit. A lot of it. And it's selling though. That's to their credit. It's selling, except for like Spy Master didn't sell very well. I think the wave that probably sat the most this year had to be the Shang-Chi wave. I saw that shit everywhere. And I never see retail Marvel Legends too much unless you really hunt for them. I mean, that Shang-Chi, it was just there day after day. I haven't seen the movie yet. Finally, I'm going to see it this week.
It's a good movie. I think that the problem with the Shang-Chi wave wasn't the quality of the figures. It's the fact that they released it like half a year before before the movie came out. And
agreed. Black Widow too. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but at least Black Widow had recognized, Red Guardian looked fantastic anyway.
He did.
And people knew who Black Widow was and would be more likely to pick that up.
Definitely.
Whereas Shang-Chi, the entire wave was movie based with a granted with a really cool Build-A-Figure, but I mean there was no incentive for someone like me to pick up that wave because the Build-A-Figure isn't one I had any real attachment to. I typically will try and avoid MCU where I can, purely for the space.
Right.
I try and focus on X-Men and now Spider-Man, just purely for the space issues of it, of everything. So with that, I just think it's one of those things where the movie coming out so late did not do any favors with the figures. And I kind of think they learned that with the Eternals, where I feel like the Eternals figures came out later than they were initially supposed to.
Oh, definitely. Pretty much to coincide with the movie. They were like a month before, really mass retail. They were everywhere about a month before. Now they're everywhere in Target. Like that Salma Hayek figure's everywhere. So is the Angelina Jolie, which is like a chase. Now, I haven't seen Eternals yet. Has anybody?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I actually saw it.
I was expecting it got bad reviews. It kind of looked to me. I was kind of had my expectations set low. I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
It was long, but I thought it was interesting. They did interesting things. They took chances. It's not the type of movie where oh man, I want to watch it over and over again. It's not like an Endgame or an Infinity War or something like that where I could pop it all the time. But I do respect that they tried something different.
Yeah.
That's cool. So the thing that hurts me with Eternals is, or what I wanted to watch it, I'm going to still watch it. I mean, it's a Marvel movie. I got to see Shang-Chi first. But it's not one of those ones I have to run out and see, like Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll be there day one. I have to see it. I am very partial to Jack Kirby's designs. I love his designs. And this was one of those times where, you take the costume and the aesthetic and try to, MCU it up, that it doesn't work for me. I hate Icarus's design compared to what Jack Kirby had. I don't like Cersei's design either. So that already hurt me thinking about going into this movie. I'm like, I don't have a real need to I have to see this right now. So it's like one of those movies I can wait. Now, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I have to see that next week. I love Ghostbusters, so it's kind of tough. I feel like this is going to be the ugly duckling of the MCU. I really do. And from what I'm hearing, people are just crapping on it bad. And the cast can't take it. Salma Hayek cannot take the heat. She has been blowing up in interviews. And she accused Hasbro of terrible figure. She was like, this figure is god awful. And that's the figure you're supposed to be promoting. It's like, ew. So that hurts something.
I found Richard Madden did a really good job. Now, bear in mind, I'm someone who has never intentionally read an Eternals comic. So I know nothing, and it's not because I don't want to, it's just not the kind of thing that ever drew my interest. Like I mean, I've said numerous times, science fiction I enjoy in movies. I don't tend to go that route for comics. Like I don't tend to enjoy space type comics as much as I would something else. I'm oddly particular that way. So Eternals has never been something that has grabbed my interest. I really enjoyed the movie. So I went in knowing nothing about anything.
Okay.
And I left thinking, you know what, that's I really enjoyed that. That's really good. I felt that the cast did. I mean, I enjoyed them. I thought Richard Madden was really good. I think the actress
How was
that played
Kit Harington's Black Knight? It's not gonna spoil. I'm not a spoiler guy. It doesn't bother me. I'll still see the damn thing. How was it?
I mean, for the 10 minutes he was in it, he was really good.
Yeah. So good. Of course. Like the one thing I really want to see out of it is barely. I have fun.
Yeah. So the thing is with that is that I appreciate that they introduced him, and if you know the character, you know who Dane Whitman is.
I was going to say it's the Dane Whitman version. Good.
Yeah. So like if you know that, then you're going to enjoy what you see him in. You'll enjoy what he does with it.
Yeah.
But above and beyond that, you don't really see him in it, and I actually think that's for the best because I would rather have focused on like the Eternals themselves. I think that the actors they got to play them were really good. I really enjoyed Gemma Chan as Cersei, and again, I know nothing about any of the Eternals.
Yeah.
Like it was. I mean, it was fun.
Cersei in the Avengers in the '90s. I liked her in the Avengers. That was always one of my favorite lineups. Yeah, she was in there with like Sandman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she was in there with Black Knight too, right? That was like the '90s.
She was in there with Black Knight, Sandman. I want to say maybe Icarus, Jason. I'm not 100%. I know Icarus has been in the Avengers. I just don't know if him and Cersei were at the same time.
I thought was it Crystal?
Like Crystal from the Inhumans was in it. Yep. Beast was in it, I think.
Yeah, he's with the weird like headband, like look.
There's been so many versions of the Avengers, so like it's not even fair to even try to freaking, put into like chronological order or whatever. Try to recount them. It's just like, nah. There's just been a lot of Avengers, and that's fine. So
yeah, sometimes there'll be some character. My wife will go like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Another Avenger." I'm like, "There's like 500." Whenever you got a question like, "Who's that?" Like at the in Eternals, they kind of allude to him being the Black without spoiling anything. There's a little allusion to him being the Black Knight, and Ashley's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Another Avenger." They're all just Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. They're just Avengers. They're nondescript Avengers.
I think it's funny that the way they're introducing some of these characters in random projects.
Yeah.
Like Black Knight's in Eternals.
Kang and Loki.
Yeah, Kang's in Loki. I feel like there was a rumor that Blade might show up in Moon Knight. Like it's just weird how they're just like kind of shoehorning these random characters.
They are. They definitely are.
Just so that one day you could be like, oh yeah, I remember that person in a thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically.
I'm telling you right now, they have a grift going on with the comic book companies because the comic books are like the new stock market. The way that like you hold on and appreciate a comic book like you would a blue chip stock now. So like obviously the Black Knight appearances shot up like crazy right before Eternals, and if the movie does well overall, those comics will retain value. If the movie does terrible overall, critically and fan wise, those books will be easier to obtain. But like that's every character now, because Alex and I have talked about this before. There ain't no one in the world who could tell me, and I grew up in the 80s, no one who could tell me that anyone liked Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man in the 80s. They were like, when you were playing Avengers on in the park with your friends, and someone told you to be Ant-Man, you were like, oh man, Ant-Man, really? Like now it's like, oh, I can't wait to be Ant-Man. It's just like crazy for me to see that Rocket Raccoon. No one gave a crap about Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord, and now those first appearances are extremely coveted. But I noticed it only works for Marvel. It doesn't work for DC like that.
I find too, and this is specifically anecdotally the shop that I work at, we'll see people come in, buy up all of the Loki for a prime example. Someone came in, bought a whole bunch of Loki stuff, before the show came out, and then as the show was out, they're like, do you need Loki stuff? I can sell it to you. And he was like, no, because the bubbles burst. I don't need it. And you could see this guy's like, oh. So what the shop tends to do is if there's a comic selling for $50 and the bubble and they can see the bubble going up, they tend to sell it a bit cheaper. So it will sell. They get their money out of it. And if you want to flip it, fine, go ahead and flip it. But they're not too concerned because they've got their money from it, right?
Yeah, exactly. They don't care. That's smart.
Yeah, and I find there's a lot of comics now that they're hot for about 10 minutes and then they're not. And like if you want to buy an Eternals comic, now is the best time to buy it.
Absolutely the best time. I saw them at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So I saw Eternals #1 and 9.8 was like $600.
Yeah, like I don't see them going up anytime soon because the movie.
I don't either.
I enjoyed it, but the reception it's getting is going to kill the interest in those comics.
Oh, absolutely. But then on the flip side, fucking Werewolf by Night #32 is like, oh, I hate that book. I'm never gonna own that thing.
Even the Jed MacKay Moon Knight series that came out,
it's crazy. I don't understand.
Like the first printing of the first issue is hard to find for a decent price, and I don't understand it.
I don't know, but so the next one you guys should be buying, you heard it from me, it's a hot stock tip. You should be buying Namor, Prince Namor #1.
Yeah, probably.
Because he's going to be in Wakanda forever. He's already been cast. They've already locked him in.
I didn't know that.
And Namor's gonna definitely be a coveted thing because Black Panther #2 is gonna crush it on the screen. Ryan Coogler did a great job with #1. He's going to do great with #2. And you throw in Namor, that's going to do very well. And on the DC flip side, I think Black Adam's going to go up big time because once the Rock did the teaser trailer, which looks great, I can't wait. But the original, what was the name of the series? I think it was Shazam, Power Shazam or something. But that book's going to go up. But I don't think you'll see a lot of DC books go up. For some reason, it doesn't work the same way. DC appearances and things like that don't go up based on that. They usually go up based on time. So like Batman Silver Age is what really climbs and stuff like that. Or, Justice League Silver Age, Green Lantern Silver Age, stuff like that. But Marvel, it's whatever the hot talk is of the day. So you're right, Alex. Everything is like hot and cold because like Ms. Marvel was going for crazy prices about 6 months ago, and now they've cooled off quite a bit. The only books that I've seen that are constantly in value is like Ultimate Fallout 4, which thank God I have. I have the first print of that. Like now I'm holding on to that. That's like the grail to hold on to for me because once Miles Morales even gets a sniff of the MCU, that book's gonna like quintuple in price. There's no question.
I think there are certain comic series that are hot right now. X-Men is starting to build again. Spider-Man, I think Silver Age Spider-Man is always going to be hot.
Always going to be desired. Yeah.
I've noticed that the 90s Spider-Man, the Todd McFarlane one, that's starting to creep up slowly as well.
Except #1. I don't know. Except #1 is worth nothing.
I mean, so we recently we sold a #1 for $18, which doesn't sound like much.
It doesn't.
But bear in mind, for the longest time, it was like a $3 or $4 book. And now all of a sudden, so when I say it's going up slowly, it's going to be incrementally slowly in comparison to, say, Amazing Fantasy 15 that just went for like what 3 point something million.
Yeah, it's insane. Like
so.
Fantastic Four number 6 is like 700,000, something like that. But Jason, so I don't know how much time you have left. We could talk toys all night long. I think we've demonstrated that. But one of the things Alex and I do, since we're such big Marvel Legends fans, is every now and then we get together like our wish list, like our want list of like, a wave or just, individual figures that we would want so bad to come out within the next year or so. So I was kind of saying we should do like a round robin of the top 5 off our head that we would think would be the ones that we would desire for 2022 if we were doing the waves.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're up with that?
Sure.
Okay.
You want me to suggest a figure?
I can. I can start if you want.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So my 5 is probably going to be most of Alex's 5. So Alex, you're gonna have to come up with new ones while I'm saying them. I think number 1 for me would be Banshee. I just want a fucking Banshee figure that's really decent, and I don't care if it's the yellow and blue costume or the green and white. I mean, yeah, the green and yellow costume. They announced Null, so like that was one of my big ones. I wanted Donny Cates Thor really, really bad, so that would be number 2. For Spider-Man, I would have to say I think I want now, because I've read the series and it's going pretty decent, I want a Ben Reilly in the new costume. I'm finally warming up to that. But I also want a Dr. Octopus Eric Larson version in the white business suit. I've always thought that was my favorite version of Doc Ock. And then let me see, for X-Men we did Banshee. So Avengers. I'm just trying to think who would I covet the most as Avengers. Oh, well, okay, not coveted for Avengers. For my final one, though, they're never going to do this. I don't know why. Probably because, they don't want people being satanic. I would love a Mephisto figure, like a classic Mephisto figure. That's like my grail. Those are my 5.
I'm surprised they haven't done a Mephisto.
They only did it with Diamond Select, and it's like a $200 figure now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I think it's got something to do, and I think Joe's made like you
the
told me this.
Satan?
Yeah, it's like trying to have a effectively Satan in a Toys R Us or Target aisle may not always.
Or Walmart, come on in and get Satan.
It would sell, but I feel like the company itself may not. I if they do a Mephisto, I think it's going to be a Pulse exclusive.
Oh, I think so. We'll see. But Alex or Jason, who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Alex.
So I want Kane from the clone. The first appearance. Kane.
I knew it. Damn it! I knew it. That's the one that was nagging at my head. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, first appearance Kane. A classic Sabretooth. First, ideally first appearance Sabretooth.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Bring on the Reavers. Come on.
Bonebreaker.
Yeah, I knew it.
I actually, but seriously, I think we're getting Bonebreaker in the next year. I really, really do.
Pulse exclusive, I bet. Yeah.
Probably. I'd also like a Ghost Rider.
Which one?
I don't.
Danny Ketch?
Yeah.
We got Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, I just want like a really like Ghost Rider with a unique motorcycle that you don't have yet, because I think that would look fantastic on the shelf.
Yeah, that's why I ordered the Mezco, but it's like $260. But yeah.
Yeah. I also wouldn't mind a classic Hulk. Like,
really?
Yeah, well, I don't have a Hulk, so it's entirely selfish for me. Is that I would love a classic green Hulk, so I could get one for a reasonable price that isn't ridiculous.
Okay. Those are the ones. Maybe like a 2-pack with Bruce Banner.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be cool too.
Mm-hmm. Those are all good. What about you, Jason?
Jeez, I don't know. I'm usually just pleasantly surprised when I read a blog and see a figure pop up I didn't know I wanted until I saw it. Mm-hmm. I would love a Storm in her current costume, like the X-Men Red costume.
Yeah.
I want to say Mahmoud Asarad designed.
I think that's correct.
I really love that costume.
Huh?
I think, you know what? I'd love for them to do a second wave of the House of X figures. I'd
I
love
think they're going
like a Sunfire. I love that new Sunfire design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's great. Just a lot of those newer designs, some of those characters I think are looking good. I'd like a classic She-Hulk. I feel like they did like that gray one a couple years ago.
I hate that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want like a very classic like John Burney or even like the Dan Slott series She-Hulk.
Yeah, so do like the She-Hulk, like the John Byrne with her in like the purple jumpsuit with the white boots and gloves, because that's the one like I'd want.
Yeah, that one, or I'd even do the early 2000s Dan Slott one. I feel like there was a Marvel Legends one, but it was like in that like weird.
The A-Force wave, yeah.
Yes, I think there was something
And
weird.
I didn't like that figure. Yeah, it came with like Elsa Bloodstone. I forget the other women, to be honest. I think Sif might have been one, like a white Sif, Lady
Yeah.
Sif. So yeah. Oh, and Lady Loki was one of them.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love for them to do the Warriors 3 from the MCU version.
oh yes, yes.
It's crazy that they haven't done that one yet.
No, that's very surprising considering how deep the Thor characters can go.
Yeah.
I would love that. I agree with that. I like the MCU version of the Warriors 3 better than the comic book versions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones off the top of my head, I guess.
So those are all good. But I hear you with your like, oh, I can't wait, and I'm always pleasantly surprised when I see a figure that I didn't know I wanted until I saw it. That's, for me, that's despair. Like, I know who Despair is as a character, but I'm like, I never clamored for a figure of it. But then I saw the render and I'm like, I want that figure. It's like I didn't know how bad I wanted it until I saw it. They're like, you want this? I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I must.
One of the books I started reading over quarantine was I had never read the Claremont Davis Excalibur before.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really into that. I loved it. And then I feel like just about the time I finished reading that series, they announced they were doing the box set, the Excalibur box set.
That has been our top forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, how serendipitous.
I know. Perfect. All they need is Rachel now.
Yeah, they just need a Rachel figure.
But they are doing Rachel. They said it just, I think Alex and I have talked about it on the show multiple times. They said something about the tooling for Rachel is very difficult because of all the spikes.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, it's Marvel Legends and they like to get a bang for their buck out of their molds. So they don't want to like be doing a character that's all spikes that they can't reuse again. They're like, I don't want to get one off. So I get that. But at the top of my list for like, I don't know, I think 2 years, Alex, maybe, if I'm correct. Kitty Pryde, Shadow Cat in that Excalibur uniform was like up there for me every single time. And then when they made it, I'm like, that's it. Because I've held off on getting a Captain Britain for a long time. Because I'm like, I want a classic version. I don't want the updated Brian Braddock. I'm like, yeah.
And the new body looks really good too.
Yeah, I love it. And then the Megan, that sold it. Like those are the 3 people that you could have gave me in that set because you already got Nightcrawler. So you're all good. You just, have him switch shelves once in a while. He just bamfs over. So I'm totally happy with that. Marvel Legends, I will say, is the best character selection of any toy line by far. Because I am a big DC guy and I love Batman. So does McFarlane because that's like all you get is iterations of Batman over and over with like one new figure once in a great while. But he released the Swamp Thing and it looks freaking amazing. And I'm so stoked for that. And he has a great deal for his figures. Like you're getting a 9-inch Swamp Thing for like $30-$40. And he looks incredible.
Yeah, those McFarlane figures are hilarious because like he was getting a lot of shit for doing so many Batmans, and that was like early on. That was like 5 series ago. And now I don't feel like he's like he's in on the joke. Like, yeah, you're gonna keep getting Batman.
Yeah. He's like, you're gonna get the Batmobile Beast. You're gonna get Batman in scuba gear.
My favorite thing about it is when he re-released the Curse of the White Knight Batman in different colors because it matched a single cover.
Oh, the red shoe.
We had a guy in the shop. He's like, what's up with this? And I'm like, oh, I think it matches the outfit from a certain comic. He's like, well, which one?
Yeah.
I told him. He's like, but isn't Batman, black and white? I'm like, no, he is. I said it's just a single cover that's based off of. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah.
No,
he
you
didn't
are
buy
wrong,
it.
sir. He's red. You need to get
That's
him.
just it. He didn't buy it in the end, but I mean, I appreciate if you're a Batman collector, there's so many options.
Oh
However,
my God, everything. But even I stopped. I was like, nah.
Right.
I got the death metal Batman with the death metal bat cycle, and then I got the Curse of the White Knight, because I love Sean Murphy's Batman. I think he's a freaking epic job on both series. I even liked his Harley series too. I dug it with Mutt. And when I spoke with him at Jesus, I forget the convention. It was in 2018, and it was when the Batman White Knight was coming out. I was like, I hope they make a line of action figures based on your thing. And then poof, McFarlane did it. He did Batman, Azrael, and Joker, Jack Napier Joker, and I grabbed all those. And very, very cool stuff. But yeah, even McFarlane's got me Batmaned out, and I love Batman. It's like a tie between Mezco and McFarlane for how many Batmans you can get. It's crazy. So I had 60 Mezcos, and at least 40 of them were almost Batman, or iterations of Batman. And I'm like, I can't do this.
I have one Batman figure.
Yeah, which one is it, by the way? I always ask.
It's a Greg Capullo.
Yeah, I used to have those.
Yeah, and I got it because it was
for collectibles.
It fits in just about with the Marvel Legends. He's a little big, but that doesn't worry me. And it's a costume that I like the most. So that, you know what, perfect. I'll get that, and that'll be the Batman that I have.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I have a Jason Todd Batman figure where he's got the metal plate over his mouth as well, but
you have that?
Yeah.
From DC Collectibles or DC Direct?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh my God. So that came from like the Batman and Robin. No, it was basically from the Battle for the Cowl.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. My wife got it for me for my birthday one year.
Trying to find that figure for years, and it was just too crazy on the aftermarket. I said, no, I'm not paying for that. So, wow, that's awesome, because I'm a big Jason Todd fan. I love Jason Todd, especially as the Red Hood. So, and any thoughts on you, Jason? I know you'd want a Nightwing, a really dope Nightwing.
I do love Nightwing. I think I have that Greg Capullo Nightwing.
I like that one. I have the red one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the red costume.
Yeah,
I got a couple Batman. I mean, I was big into the Arkham games. Yeah. So I did all 4 series of those. I have the Hush. I really loved still the original DC Direct Hush figures.
I have those. Yep. They were pretty good.
Yeah.
I have the Mafex Hush figures too. Those are wicked expensive. Like the Batman and Superman.
Yeah, I debated that one because it looked really cool, but
they dropped the ball on the Catwoman and the Harley. I think the Harley's being solicited, but the Catwoman, I hate those buckle shoes. She looks like a witch at Halloween. Like, I just hate that design. It's terrible. Like, yeah, but I would love and kill for a Mr. Miracle and Big Barter. Like, hopefully Mezco does it. I'd love a 2-pack, or I would love a, McFarlane version of Tom King's Mr. Miracle. That I would love so much. Those would be great.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't really have too much more or any final thoughts. I know we've taken up a lot of your time, and this has been greatly enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed it as well as we did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never get to talk about toys with anyone.
So that's the thing. Come on a show and geek out with us, because like we have tried to make it like every 3 weeks talk about toys, but the problem is it seems to be like a Hasbro Fan First Monday every Monday, and we always want to talk about it. So
we pretend to be a general nerdish podcast, but realistically, I think over the pandemic, because we got so into toys ourselves, because I got into toys and I wanted to talk about it, and Joe just loves talking about toys. We ended up talking about toys more episodes than not. So now, I mean, it's not even a running joke anymore. Now we talk about toys more than anything else.
Absolutely.
anytime you want to come back and talk about toys, we are more than happy to do so.
Yeah, and when you get the scoop on who's making By the Horns toys, you let us know first.
I'd love that. Scout's doing
that needs to happen.
Scout's doing some in-house figures. They're sort of like in the vein of like the 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures.
Okay. Like
they're like
action
mix. They're not like fully articulated. They're like kind of halfway between like your standard 6-inch figure and the 3 3/4 inch ones, where there's like limited articulation.
Yeah, but not 5-point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd love it if it came up in the mix. I feel like I not so subtly suggested that to them.
Yeah, you've got so many awesome designs, dude.
Yeah.
Like that would fucking rule. Alex would keep you all in business.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see a Evelyn toy. Like, I don't even know how you would do it, but it would be fantastic.
It'd have to come with one of those clear post bases to hold up.
Yeah.
That would be freaking good.
Yeah, the 2 unicorns could come in a set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. I'd love to do the turnarounds. Oh.
See, that would be a dream for you because, like, not only are they your character designs, but like, you would kill the turnarounds for those.
Oh yeah.
Your articulation points.
All the villains. I'm doing designs for like the second arc right now, so I know a bunch of cool new characters that could make great toys.
See, that's the thing. Just keep making toyetic designs, and the universe will give you those as toys.
I know. That's I mean, I used to work in toys.
Really? What company?
So it was a very small company. It was called Scenario. It was based in like Northern Illinois. We made so we used to make those back in the day before it was pretty commonplace. This is like 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
They used to make a lot of those plug and play games. You know, like, you get a Jeopardy game and you could buy it at Target.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Plug it into any TV. You don't need a system.
Sure.
Then we do like those plush pillows that were like shaped like candy bars. You know, like a Reese's or something like that. And then like I always pushed them to do like more action figure toys, whereas they were more like play sets and like small electronic gadgets. And then finally one day the owner came in with this little remote control, like just basically like a very tiny remote control thing, like a figure that was maybe like 3 inches high by 1 inch deep.
Mm-hmm.
Really sophisticated remote control devices for like that small of a unit. Right. And can you guys build some sort of toy around this mechanism? So myself and like a couple other designers there, we came up with this line of remote control robots called Zibbits.
Okay.
And so we just went crazy with the designs. Like basically they're like, you could do any design you want as long as it fits on this shell, this remote control shell.
Right.
So we went crazy with the designs and I was like, can I please write the cards on the back? Because like I always love reading like the G.I. Joe character file on the back.
I was just about to say, the strike files and all that. Oh, yeah. That's
so like I went crazy. Like I built this whole universe. Like I don't know if anyone ever read this stuff. Like, and the funny thing too is like a lot of the things so we're like a small company. So a lot of times the owner of the company would like go to China and like they'd almost show him different kind of mechanisms for toys, and he'd come back and say like, hey, can you work this mechanism into the toy line? I guess it's similar to the way they used to do like Master of the Universe. So then like I try to come up with these backstories of like why would there be like like a swinging crane or like a thing that vacuum sucks up little robots.
Right.
Yeah, I went crazy building up this whole imaginary universe. I don't know if anybody was ever into it. Although one day, like years after I had left that job, I got a random email from someone. They're like, hey, I was really big into Zibbits, and I just want to know, like, basically, like, how did the story end that you were telling? And I was so excited.
Oh, my God, that's crazy.
Let me tell you, here's where I was going with this imaginary universe. Like, I don't even know if
that must be flattering, though.
I don't know if they were proofreading it at all. Like, it was sort of just like, yeah, do whatever you want, Jason. Like, write this super elaborate backstory for these little robots.
Well, it's better than what Marvel Legends does. They put like one sentence and then they play it 3 times in different languages.
Yes.
They're like, Captain America is the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, the Star Spangled Man with a plan. And then it's in French and then like Spanish. That's it. Like that's all you get for a backstory.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Like, you get a toy that's based on like a new movie. There's nothing about the movie. It'll just be like Shang-Chi uses his martial arts powers to defend people.
Yeah, but it's random like that. It's like to defend people, like not even like certain versions. So good. The other thing I love is Hasbro's not really guilty of it. I like their glamour shots; they do a decent job. But McFarlane toys, it's like, who in the fuck poses these things? They look like the ankles are broken. The arms should not bend that way in a human form. Like, and they're just the most stoic figures. You're like, this doesn't do anything for the figure. Like looking at it, it doesn't make you go, I want that figure so bad. You're just like, oh, that's a figure.
Do you know what figure I didn't want until I saw the glamour shots?
Which one?
Zombie Captain America. I was
like, me too.
I'm like, you know what? I can pass out. I don't need that. And I saw like a bunch of the official photos. I'm like, no, I need a Zombie Captain America. I don't know why. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it.
I've seen him in hand. Yeah, he's a great figure because I'm on my Big Bad Toy Store just really quick checking my pre-orders, and Zombie Cap just came in. I'm like, yeah, all right, finally, I'm getting Zombie Cap. Still waiting for a Captain Carter though, because I've had the Hydra Stomper for like 2 months now.
My Amazon pre-order for Captain Carter should be shipping in January.
That's what they say.
Yeah, and the thing is, I could wait, or I could take a walk up to Toys R Us, and I don't know which one's going to happen.
See, I'm very upset that you get the chance to just walk into Toys R Us and hear that.
I feel like the next time I go in there, I'm just going to hold my phone up and film it for you.
Dude, you should, you should, and then you could just like put it over your head, like what's his name, and say thing.
Do you know what I did do with so quick? I was in there the other a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking for Legion from the AOA wave.
AOA wave too.
The AOA wave shelves were full. I was like, there's no Legion. And I thought, wait a minute, there's boxes on top of the shelf. Now I'm lucky in that I'm like 6 foot and change, so I've got like a good reach. And I'm holding my phone up on camera so I can like look over on what's on the top of the shelf. I'm like, oh, there's Legion. And I just picked them up. Oh, there's Sabretooth.
That's awesome.
So I ended up getting both of those and then canceling the Amazon order because
Amazon's slow lately.
Yeah. I mean, if you order with them, you will probably get it eventually.
Not in the US. Sometimes they cancel orders randomly. It pisses me off. That's why multiple orders.
So yeah, they don't tend to cancel. I haven't had them cancel anyway. I shouldn't say they don't cancel in Canada, but the downside is I do currently have 2 of the Magneto because I ordered one, found one, picked it up, and then forgot I ordered it. So I've got to.
And it just popped up.
Yeah, I was like, oh hey, do you want to pick this up? I'm like, not really. I've already got it. So
I will close with this. Because I was just, looking at the pre-orders, it just reminded me. Probably one of my most anticipated lines. I know they're going to trickle out slowly, but I already found one is got to be Gargoyles. Like I got Goliath right now, but when the Demona comes out and the Thalog and the Hudson and the Braun, oh my God, that is my line. I mean, I would have think like Super 7 would do like actual cartoon cell translations of them. But I really like the real world aesthetic that NECA put on them, like the hybrid of the cartoon models with the real world aesthetic. Incredible. So I'm a big Gargoyles fan.
Yeah, I saw that figure in the shop the other day. My comic shop had it.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Crazy.
It's huge though, Jason. Like,
the
wingspan alone, it's a shelf killer. It's so like he's by himself because, I'm waiting for the other Gargoyles. But you talk about like dick moves. Like NECA's really good at doing dick moves too, because what would be great? You get an Ultimate Goliath figure because they call him Ultimate Goliath, but you only get the wings. Why don't you get him with the cloak down too? But they're like, oh, not to worry. We have Bronx coming out and the wings for Goliath, the cloak down. Dude, why didn't you just give us the cloak down wings as an option with our Goliath? Yeah. But they're like, no, we're being nice to you. You got to buy a Bronx to get the Goliath wings. I'm like, what the hell? And they're going to do that with every figure, I heard. They're going to, Damona's going to have only the wings, and then, like, Eliza Maza will probably have the cloak down wings. So now, if you want the cloak down wings, instead of being in for just the team of Gargoyles, you're going to be in for the team of Gargoyles times 2 because whatever figures is going to have the cloak down wings.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. But they get me every time. Every damn time. I'm always, every day I think I text Alex something like, oh, just ordered this. Just ordered this. He's like, dude. He's like, I'm pretty proud of myself, though. I had 201 pre-orders from Big Bad Toy Store, and it's now down to 163. I'm very happy. Like, that's a big win.
You should be happy.
I don't think I could ever do that.
I think I've also been buying a lot of books lately, like actual actual books, and I think if it wasn't for the fact that yeah, well, not just like ones with pictures in it.
Yeah.
Quit bragging.
Well, I just got John Moxley's autobiography. It just got dropped on my porch. So I'm excited for that as a wrestling fan.
So I think if it wasn't for the fact I've been buying and reading those and staying off my laptop more than I normally would, I probably saved more money in toys because I haven't been obsessively looking at them. Like I completely missed a pre-order for the NECA Phantom figure because I just wasn't paying attention to it. So
for the what figure?
The Phantom, the purple suit.
I have that for NECA.
Yeah. So the one I'm looking forward to, though, the one I actually really want is one of the
comic book one.
Yeah, with the gray, the striped trunks and the pistol. So
it's in front of me right now. I'm ordering it for you right now.
I love you.
Yeah, it's on Big Bad Toy Store. I got you.
I appreciate you.
I love the Phantom. I've always loved the Phantom. As a matter of fact, I like Billy Zane's version of the Phantom too.
I do too. Yeah.
So I was like hoping they do a Shadow eventually, but I guess they're two different properties. They're not Kings, whatever.
Well, I mean, the Phantom was. I think it's from Defenders of the Earth is the line, and I don't think the Shadow is ever part of that.
No,
so I think that's what they're basing it from. But yeah, like I did a whole bunch of research on the Phantom once for no real reason. I was starting to read about the Phantom, and I was just
no reason. I want Phantom.
It was one of those things where I went down a rabbit hole, and after I went down the rabbit hole, I was like, I should probably write about this. This is a really cool character. But ever since then, I've been mildly obsessed with the Phantom because you can't really find many consistent comics with him in it. Because for whatever reason, he just doesn't command the same interest that other characters do.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but yeah, no, the Phantom is definitely one that a character I've always been interested in.
Yeah, that figure looks really cool.
And I don't even care if it doesn't fit in with a legend scale. Like, I know it's going to be 7-inch, and
sorry about that. I just got a big call, so I'm definitely gonna dip off, gents. I apologize. This has been great. Alex, I had to order the 3-pack to get it, so I'm getting Ming and Flash Gordon. I'm okay with that. They don't come out till January, but I'll send you up the Phantom for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Jason, it has been a pleasure. Love talking your ear off about toys, man. Hope to have you back. And when you do even 3 3/4 inch by the horns, please let us know.
I'll tell everybody about it.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure. Alex, you take care. Everyone else, have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Night, guys.
Yeah, take care.
Alex, you still there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean for him to hang up on you. My phone keeps ringing, and it's not going to go well if I don't answer it.
No worries, man. I mean, the thing is we were crouching in on an hour and a half, and I don't know how long he had anyway.
We were starting to circle, so that's why I said, the final thing I want to say is Gargoyles, and then we went into the Phantom. And thank God you mentioned that, because the single set of Phantom, like the regular single release, he sold out everywhere. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
so
no, he
Toy Store has the 3-pack, like the Wave, and I like the Flash Gordon and Ming, and I already have the other Phantom, so the Phantom's yours. No problem.
Oh, perfect. Appreciate it. Yeah, I had no interest in the Wave. It's just that the Phantom is what I wanted.
Yeah, so. I got you. So I will text you later. I just got to hop off. So.
Yeah, we can like try and do an intro at some point in the next couple of days.
That sounds good.
So.
All right. Well, you take care, dude, and this was awesome.
It was. I will talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, so that was a rather abrupt-ish end for the interview, but we had gone on for longer than we were expecting. So you guys know where you can find me and Joe. Jason, you can find at jasonmuhr.com, JASONMUHR.com. That's it. We will catch you next week.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.